in the Mpumalanga province, and it will be Crystal Lake FC coming up against the defending champions, the Nedbank Cup, Orlando Pirates. We're joined here by the away team coach, Coach Jose Riveiro, just to talk about this fixture on Saturday. Coach, disclaimer, I did ask the coach offline to say if he had anything that he wanted to address outside of Nedbank Cup, and he assured me that he has got nothing. So I'll jump straight into Nedbank Cup questions. Coach, you finally obviously know your position after some time. How do you approach this one on Saturday?
Good afternoon. With the illusion of a team who wants to replicate a good performance in the same competition as we did just 1 year ago, and we need to start from the beginning. And the beginning is this round. Is a challenge. Is an unknown team for us right now. Playing in a lower league, it maybe looks like that it's gonna be easy, but it's never easy. It's going to be an important day for Crystal Lake to have the opportunity to face Pirates. For us, we have an experience last season facing, in this case, teams from the second division, like Benda, All Stars, Dondor Stars, also third year, and we know how difficult it was. On the day, it's a football match, and we're going with the intention to show the maximum respect for our opponent and taking the game so serious. And we're going to a different place where probably there's going to be a lot of Pirates fans, and our obligation is to offer a good performance, no matter who is in front of us.
Thank you very much, Coach. Let's take questions from the floor, just by a show of hands. Wanted to see if we've got new hands. Okay, maybe let's just start there. Siasana.
Good afternoon, Coach. Siasana here from Sunday World. Coach, we saw yesterday Highlands Park taking Sekhukhune all the way to the penalties. So how do you ensure that your players avoid being complacent on the day and go all out against your opponent?
Well, we know, like I said before, we know it's a challenge, and it's an opportunity for us to be the team that we want to be consistently. It doesn't make any sense to perform the way we did it a few days ago in Pretoria, and now have the opportunity to develop the same type of performance and not do it. So it's maybe one of our deficits in this type of game. So the preparation right now, or so far, it's been the same like in every other game. There's nothing that we are doing that we don't do in a preparation for a PSL game, for example. And like I said before, we already have the experience coming from the last season where we have to face FC All Stars, and it was really difficult. We played Bend Academy, we were about to play penalties. We played extra time, we scored after 110 or 12 minutes. You know the story with Dondor Stars, we went to the penalties. And so we know there's nothing that I have to tell, or that they need to use their imagination about what can happen in this type of games, because we suffered those type of difficult days already last season. So it's an opportunity to show professionalism and especially ambition, because it's a cup game and it's always about to be the better team on the day.
Okay, moving on. Okay, let's just stay in the same row there. Yululwe. I've noted Kamu, Karabo, Temba, Neo.
Coach, Yululwe Kosha from Newsroom Africa. Coach, during the January transfer window, you acquired 2 players, and you've also got the likes of the Marus, which you've spoken about, who have not really had much of an opportunity, and also some other players in your squad who could use some minutes. Do you look at a game against Crystal Lake as an opportunity to bed in those new signings? So does also offer some opportunities to some of the players that might be impressing you in training, just can't get the rub of the green when it comes to those competitive games in the league?
Yes, obviously it's always, but not because we play in Crystal Lake. It's the next fixture for us, it's the next game, and it's always an opportunity for the players to show. Right now we have 34 players available for selection, so everybody's pushing to get the opportunity because every game counts. And after that, we have 3 games in a space of 1 week in the league. And we need to be prepared for that. So everybody's pushing, the new ones, the old ones, everybody wants to be on the field, trust me. And hopefully we can get soon the opportunity to have a look of the new players in the squad, what can they put on the table for us, and next Saturday can be one of those opportunities. But like I said, not because we're looking at this game like an opportunity for anything or to test anything new. It's just because it's the next game. Miguel Tim cannot play this game. He's one of the players that is not going to be on the start 11 for sure. So let's see who's taking his opportunity in that position, for example.
Okay, let's give Karabo a chance and we'll move on in that order.
Thank you, Father. Good afternoon, Coach Karabo, Supersport. Coach, for lack of a better word, I think you've been a magician in South African football with knockout competitions. You've won quite a lot of the knockout competitions, defending champions with this one. You've also shaken hands with Paradise with this trophy as well. Does it put more pressure on you in regards to, in inverted commas, that you are a trophy man for Pirates? Does that put much more pressure on you? It's just, another game, and how do you also ensure that the players have the mindset as you wanting to win all trophies on offer?
We are hard workers. That's why we manage to get trophies. There's nothing else behind, and we want to repeat the same. I mean, when I think about this competition, I can only find beautiful memories about all the games we play in the competition, extraordinary memories about the semi-finals, the final, and we want to be there again. But the way to do it is to win every game in the competition. This is not the league; it's a knockout game competition. So if you are relaxed, like you said before, guys, and the history is full of this type of games where you think that everything is done before the game starts, is the most difficult in sport. I'm repeating myself, but win one game that you already won before the start because nobody's thinking that our opponent have a chance, and it's not true. It's the most difficult to do in sport, and is when surprises and nice histories for this type of teams are always one opportunity, one possibility. And like I said, we want to take it serious. We're gonna play one team there with full guarantees to get a good result, and that's the way to show respect to the competition and to the opponent as well. Sorry.
Come on.
Buenas tardes, Coach.
Hola.
Es bueno verte otra vez.
Muchas gracias.
Coach, I know it's only been just one game that you just played in the resumption of the league. In terms of performance-wise, would you say that your club or your players rather have dropped the intensity, or you still feel that there's more that you can do to approach games, and also the trickiness of preparing for Crystal Lake, because all these teams they found out about their opponents at the launch of the tournament, and you only just found out about the opponent just last week. So the trickiness of preparing for this game and the performance moving forward in the season.
About the level of the team, like I said 1 week ago, when you have your first game after one break, it's difficult to know exactly where you are. It's a little bit uncertain, and even if you have to play against one side like Sundowns, it's even more. But like I said, after the game, the performance of the team was outstanding in my opinion. With 11 players, with 10 players, we managed to compete in a very high level. But there's always room to improve. who's gonna say that we are done, you know, that there's nothing else to do. We can always do it better, and we are in the first early stages of the second half of the season, so the team will only improve in this period. And about the opponent, like I said before, there's the information we have about them it's extremely little, it's short. We have to be prepared for many different scenarios. It's totally different than what we faced 1 week ago, when you are playing one team that you know very well structured, with usually a clear way of playing. But this week is a challenge for us, because there's going to be the need of, I don't want to even say an adaptation from our side to the opponent. Is more about try to put the game in a rhythm where it's going to be difficult for the opponent to cope. That's the intention, more than thinking what kind of displacement they can develop there against us. Like I said, with all the respect, that's why we are going there with the best of our capacity right now, to make sure that we can be a better team this week than 1 week before.
Okay, moving on.
Sorry.
Lorenz, how did we skip you? Let's give Temba and then Lorenz.
Are you sure?
Joe.
Are you sure, Lawrence?
No, I think
I've calmed down.
Temba Joseph on Sports. Coach, you're getting another shot in the Nedbank Cup, and surely you know what to expect now, especially playing against teams from the lower divisions. Just your observation with this, the leagues, that the SAFA region, there's the first division and the PSL, the closeness or the distance between the leagues. What have you made of the comparison and the standard of the three leagues that are put together competing in this cup?
Well, this one, it's actually going to be our first experience with the fourth tier. It's kind of a regional, but so far in my experience with the other leagues, like I said many times, I'm talking as an outsider, as a foreigner, and I'm not exaggerating. The technical level of the players is so high in every competition in this country. Probably the level of the resources that the clubs can use, or they have to use, maybe there's the main gap between PSL clubs and other clubs. So sometimes we really buy the picture that we see, the uniforms, you know what I mean, like the makeup of, but the quality of the players is there, and that's the complication for us. I mean, the football belongs to the players, like we all agree and we all know, and on the day every team can give you a headache, because we face many times teams from lower divisions in official matches, especially in friendly matches, and they have the capacity to discuss with you the possession, for example, which is something unusual. Usually when you face teams from lower divisions, they used to say no to the ball and defend, but usually the teams here, they have the, I don't want to say arrogance, but the capacity to also discuss with you the possession, and even in some moments they can dominate you. So the level of the South African players, technical, is high and is not exceptional in the lower divisions. Probably the difference is that our players can focus and dedicate their lives to the game, and probably they don't, because they are not considering professionals or not getting salaries, and they have to do other jobs before they are going to the training or going to the games, and that's a handicap, a big one. So as usually, the difference is about the resources that the teams have to develop their jobs.
Okay, Lorenz.
Coach, last season, after the break, after the January, the season was halfway, Terence Chukwumanja came out of nowhere and he became one of the most crucial parts of your squad, scoring, pressing. And you said something interesting, that he learned how to play in your system after a few months. Is there anybody that you're seeing on the training ground that is showing potential of becoming a key player into the squad after working with him in the training?
Not concretely one, but I think that another clear example is evidence. It's a clear one for all of us. The moment that he managed to get the continuity that he needs, is showing his capacity, and I think his level is gonna get even a different dimension in the second half of the season, and that's what we all expect. And then the young ones, players like Mofoke, Karim, Otladisa, all of those young, well, Otladisa is not that young, but the new faces in the team, I think the improvement is coming there. There's a process always when we speak about, like I said, players like Rile or like Karim Kimbudi. They were around already enough time to make sure that the adaptation is not an obstacle anymore. So it's time for them to really show their capacity. Maru as well, I think he's making big steps forward in the last 2-3 months, much more comfortable in what we are trying to do, struggling probably in the beginning of the season, but right now, like I said, I think the word adaptation or understanding cannot be an obstacle anymore, and it's time to hopefully have the opportunity to see them playing in the best of their capacity. Again, we have 34 players, 36 in the squad, 34 available right now, and it's always difficult to have the opportunity to see them continuously on the field, but that's football.
Okay, can somebody just assist us with the people outside there? Please, thanks. Where we? In terms of questions, are there any? Any more questions, or should we close the session here? We still had about 8 minutes. All right, I think that's actually it. Okay. Velile, can you give him the mic?
Okay. Coach, I know maybe it's a question that in previous press conferences you would have been asked about. I'm just interested just to expand from evidence. Someone who was also there with him at the AFCON. How do you reflect, especially for someone maybe when he was selected, he would have been seen as a big part of a team, a squad player, but he goes and leads the line for the team and makes an impression, scores against the #1 ranked team on the continent, and also just the confidence. I watched the first 20 minutes of your game this past weekend, just the confidence that he has on almost everything that he's doing.
That's the key, the confidence. That's probably the biggest change if we speak about evidence. It's about confidence, and it was not easy for the boy. He has to go through a very difficult period when he started to play for us continuously in the league. Sometimes the feedback that he got from the stands was not fair, but he managed to navigate it, to make that situation one more strength for him, one more motivation for him to show his capacity. And after his performance in Ivory Coast, I think nobody have doubts anymore about his potential. But still, he's 23, he's making his first steps in a big club like Pirates, and he needs to now, he's still having the opportunity in the second half of the season to show that he can do it even much better, because there's potential for more, and not feel relaxed or feeling that he's already got a permanent status, because the competition in the team is still strong. He's competing with players with interesting background, and players who are also fighting for their future. So the best is still coming for him, I'm sure, but he needs to keep that level of confidence and keep delivering for the team.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. We'll
Thank
be
you.
there. All the best for Saturday.
You look tired today, guys. What happened?